Hi guys, it's Carol. How are ya? I am pretty good. Today I'm going to answer a question. This is one of the first questions, if not the first. Um, Shay from Hobby Doc Bay, I think his name of her channel, Hobby Doc Bay. I'll look it up. Anyway, Shay asked this question, I believe. And she asked, what was my life like when I was 10? I don't know. My sister and I do not remember anything from our childhood. I mean, seriously. We the things we will remember aren't pleasant. I think my sister and I have blocked out a lot. Maybe we're normal. Do you remember things from your childhood? Uh, anyway, when I was 10 was in 1964. My sister graduated from high school that year. This is what a weird family we were. I called my sister and I asked her, did we go to your graduation? Because I don't remember that. And that would have been a big deal, I would think, to me, because we never went anywhere. And she couldn't remember either. I said, well, what color was your cap and gown? She has no idea. We do know she graduated. We just have blocked out our home life. My dad was schizophrenic, and at that time there was not medication to help. During my elementary school years, he was in and out of a mental hospital. But back then, it wasn't 3 days. It was like 3 months. You would go and stay. So I don't think he was in my life when I was 10. But I don't know. My mother, bless her heart, worked her fingers to the bone trying to support us. I don't remember her being home a whole lot, or if she was. We were a weird family. We didn't hug. We didn't kiss. We didn't say I love you. What I heard more than anything else is children are to be seen and not heard. That's what I remember from my childhood. And I spent my time every year during elementary school reading. That's how I escaped. I would go in a go in a corner, read my book, and that way I was quiet. Or I played jacks. I loved to play jacks. We had, our house was an old pier and beam house, and so it had linoleum floors, and a golf ball wouldn't bounce on them. But our front porch was a concrete porch, and I would go out there. That's probably the year my brother gave me a golf ball, because I didn't have one for a long time. Oh, I'm sorry, my nose itches. My sister's 8 years older than me, and my brother is 16 years older than me. By the time I was born, he had moved out and was living on his own and supporting himself while he went to high school. My sister, in 1964, all I can remember is she graduated from high school. I don't remember her being at home. We shared a bedroom. I don't remember her ever being at home, ever. When I called her and asked some questions, it's just hilarious to us how we have no clue what went on, except we remember some bad stuff. But anyway, I have a brother 16 years older than me. And about that time, I know he was back from the Navy, and he worked at a company called Southwestern Investment Company, and which is a lending institution. I almost positive that's the year he gave me a golf ball. That golf ball became my most prized possession. I mean, I loved that golf ball. I loved the sound it made when it bounced on the concrete porch. Oh, I just loved it. I just loved it. And I had, back then, we had metal jacks and they were small, probably small enough you could swallow them, not like the big oak jacks they make now out of plastic. But anyway, I spent most of my time on the porch playing jacks, listening to that ball. I loved the sound of that ball hitting the concrete, or reading. And other than that, I colored. I did quiet things. That was the year another elementary school in our town closed, and those kids all transferred to my school. That was the first year there was a white girl in my class at school. Everybody was Hispanic. There was one black girl and me. But when those two schools merged, some white kids came to our school. And that's the year I met my friend Debbie. 1964. Debbie and I have been friends since then. Debbie told me once we were 8 when we met, but I know we weren't 8. We were older. I'm pretty sure it was 10 because she wasn't at my school in 3rd grade. I don't remember her being there. I think that was the year. And so we became fast friends all our life until she died about 11 years ago. We were good friends. What else would have happened when I was 10? The summer before I turned 10, my mother made me take swimming lessons. Now, our mother put the fear of God in us about water. And then she sends me for swimming lessons. There was a pool, a beautiful pool, about 5 miles outside of town. It was the largest pool, I believe, in the Southwest. I mean, it was a huge pool, and I remember flat rocks around the edge. Anyway, she sent me we rode a bus out there. The bus picked us up at our school that summer, and we rode the bus to take swimming lessons. Worst time of my life. That involves an activity. I'm still traumatized. But I had a turquoise swimsuit, and turquoise was my favorite color. So, and I know it was a turquoise swimsuit because, like I said, my sister graduated in 64. The summer before was, 63. And that's when I took swimming lessons. And when she got her annual, when she opened it up, the end papers on the back was a picture they took of all the kids taking swimming lessons. Were lined up on the edge of the pool watching some guy about to dive. Why that was in her annual, I don't know. When I was 10, I would have been in 4th grade. I don't remember anything about 4th grade. I remember my teacher, but I don't remember. I don't remember my birthday. That was the year something really horrible happened to me. By then, I had a friend named Becky. That's why my daughter's named Becky. I named her after my second friend, was Becky. We were walking to the library. That was the only entertainment I had. That's where I would go. And, back then, people weren't afraid of kids going out. I mean, I went trick-or-treating all by myself. I would ride my bike all by myself. A bike. I've got to tell you about bike. I would walk to the library by myself unless my friend Becky was going to go with me. This one time, we were walking to the library and we heard this noise. I just always think it sounded like buffalo thunder, uh, like of a stampede of cattle or buffalo. And we turned and we looked, and it was a bunch of boys from our school. So we didn't pay any attention to it. And before we knew it, we got to a building where there's a building on a corner. It was a place that sold boats. And they surrounded us. And they digitally raped us. I didn't know that's what it was called until I was in therapy when I was like 40, 50. Very, very traumatic, very traumatic. And I didn't tell my mom for a long time. I don't think Becky did either. Back then, bad things were swept under the rug. But finally, it was eating inside of me. I didn't know what had happened, but I knew it was not nice. And we were sitting at our table eating lunch or dinner, and my mom was at one end and I was at the other. And I remember telling her what happened. My brother was in town working at SIC, Southwestern Investment Company, because that office was about 3 blocks from the library. And those boys were in the alley behind the library. They knew we went in the library because Becky and I went in the bathroom, and they had those windows that tilt out, and we could hear them out there and see them. So we stayed in the library forever until they were gone. We couldn't see them and we ran to where my brother worked. And I went in and I asked him, could he give us a ride home? I didn't tell him why I wanted to ride home. It was like in the early afternoon. It wasn't time for him to get off work or anything. He told me, well, no, it's a nice day. I can't leave work right now to take you home. Just walk on home. So Becky and I did, and I was telling my mother what had happened, and I told her I went to my brother's work to ask for a ride home, but he couldn't leave. The only thing she said about this whole episode was that I knew I was never to go bother my brother at work. That was the extent of our conversation about that. If that happened to my children, I would hug them. I would squeeze them to death. I would call authorities. I would be doing all kinds of things, but my first instinct would be to hug my kids and tell them I was so sorry that happened to them. The only thing she said was, you're not supposed to go bother your brother at work. But that brother that year bought me a bicycle. My brother spoiled me. He gave me a birthday present and things, and this wasn't my birthday, it was in the summertime, but he bought me a Schwinn bicycle. It was white with emerald green. That's what the paint looked like. Rode that bike for years and years. That year, he bought me a styrofoam kite. I had never seen a styrofoam kite. I didn't know how to fly a kite. But I guess he had brought it to me in my lunch hour because he said, I can't go fly it with you. I've got to go back to work. I just raised myself, kind of, pretty much. When I was 10, I had long hair, like almost down to my waist. I wore glasses. The policy at our school, or in all the schools in town, was girls had to wear dresses. I mean, girls did not wear pants to school. I remember one time it snowed really bad. I mean, really bad snowstorm. And this one man taught 5th grade, and his daughters came to school wearing jeans girls did not wear jeans back then. They lived out on a farm. They wore jeans under their dresses. And that was like, oh, do you see what they've got on? I mean, girls did not wear jeans and they didn't wear pants to school. I remember that. uh, that's about all I can think of from when I was 10. I don't. I looked up 1964 to see if any events happened that would jog my memory about something. That was the year the Beatles came to the United States, and I do remember watching them on Ed Sullivan. He said it really good. Here are the Beatles. I do remember that. It's when I looked up the year, it said Pop-Tarts were invented that year. I didn't have a Pop-Tart until I was married. I got married when I was 18. I remember asking for them at the grocery store one time. We were dirt poor, and my mother couldn't afford fancy stuff like that. And she told me that is just toast with jelly on it. What else? Vietnam War was going on, but I didn't know about that when I was in elementary school. I did not know about that. What else? I guess that's all I remember from being 10. I don't know. Do you remember a lot about your life at 10? I mean, we didn't go on vacations. We didn't talk. My sister, not that long ago, said a perfect description of our house, it was a tiny little house, was a very small house with 4 people living in it that didn't like each other. I mean, it was like living with strangers unless something bad was going on. But anyway, I was happy because I had that golf ball. I can just remember sitting on the porch, playing jacks for hours, bouncing that ball, and loving the sound of it. That's what I remember from being 10, is the sound of a golf ball bouncing on concrete. Okay, guys, that's all I know today. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, guys, I found it. This is that picture I was telling you about. This is the pool I was telling you about. My teacher was Mrs. Dow. She's the lady in the black swimsuit with the straw hat. And then next to her is a little girl with a white bathing cap and a turquoise suit. That's me. Oh, that pool was just awesome. I was looking up to see if it really was the largest in the Southwest, and what I found said it was advertised as the largest in the Southwest. It must have been built in the 1940s. I couldn't find what year it was opened, but the CCC built it, which I think that was a civilian construction corps or something, was a government program thing. In that town, there were lots of things that was built by the CCC or the WPA. I remember seeing that in the concrete everywhere. But anyway, I thought, oh my gosh, there is that picture. All right, this is really the end. Bye, guys.